Welcome to the Shack Show. My name is Stinkpot, and I'll be stinking up your home today to tell you about the latest and greatest in PAX Day. Feel free to look in the description and skip around to the content you enjoy the most. Happy Friday to you guys out there. Thanks for tuning into this update from Mainframe as we discuss the Market Update Part 3. Today we're going to take an in-depth look into the best features of this market update. We're going to show you bugs you probably haven't even seen before, but also praises for what makes this update a welcomed one. But first, let's get over some reminders scrolling at the bottom of your screen to talk about some of that content. One thing that's not in the scrolling part at the bottom is they have opened up a new shard today. Today, following the plot update, they introduced a new shard called Chernobog. It is a non-role-playing server on the European servers. So a couple months ago they added a new US server and now a new EU server. That's a great sign that things are looking up. You can see in the scrolling context below we have about 1,200 people currently in the game, and that is just Steam players. Probably about double than where it was before, but one reason for this is because until March the 20th, you can get a 38% discount on PAX Day. Just head on over to the Steam store, and this is only affecting the Journeyman Founders Pack. So, if you've been thinking about dipping your toes into PAX Day, now is the time. Head to Steam. Also, on starting Monday, we're gonna have weekly inactive plot wipes. This is another step in the right direction for getting inactive players out of the game, because if you're running a clan right now, you know that they are having trouble with getting new players plots with the rest of their clan or with friends. So hopefully these weekly plot wipes will help ensure that people get to play together, live together, and grow a community together. If this doesn't fix it, they're gonna have to get more strict with the inactive plot rules, and we'll just have to see how that all transpires today. So let's dive right in. We're gonna be looking at Market Update Part 3. Here is what we enjoyed and noticed about the markets themselves. Take a look. Now let's talk about markets. So if we go in game, guys, most people might have the tendency to go to a market and look at it, and you're going to see this message pop up until you click it off and say don't show again. Just gives you an introduction to markets if you're not familiar. And then you might be wondering, well, how do I browse? How do I search? If you search here in this market, this is only going to be specific to this particular market. So that's the filtering there. So if you're wanting to do a remote market search, though, you need to be away from that and open up your menu. You can do that with the I key, or you can press the tab key. Either will get you there, or you might even have it bound to some other key. But there's going to be a new menu item now called Market. So we're going to click that at the top. And again, until you click Do Not Show Again, that's going to pop up. So actually, let's test that. Does it pop up now that I said don't click it anymore? Click Market. See? Okay, now it's gone away. So now what you are seeing is a result of your last sorting and filter options. So this has been added to the Heartland markets, aka the Home Valley markets. So in my case, I am in Armenhack. So you guys got to keep in mind that this remote market search is only going to search in Armenhack. So even if you're close to Lavadon, which you can see down at the bottom, it's not going to search there. And I was hanging out in PAX chat today, and another confusion point for people has been, hey, if I go to Armenhack and I want to go to Lavadon, or if I want to go to Gravis or some other how am I going to search? I'm not going to be able to see anything from Armand. You're right. You're not going to be able, but you're still going to be able to do the market search. It's just specific to that home valley. So if you're on Lavadon and you engage this remote search, it's only going to be showing items in Lavadon. If you're in Gravis and do the remote search, it's only going to show the items specific to Gravis. So I know a couple people are kind of miffed by that because they're like, oh, I want to see everything on the whole entire map. But if you do that, then the next thing you're going to say is, well, I can only see stuff on my map. What if I want to see stuff on another map or the whole server even? I mean, I can see that. Maybe in the future they're going to add that as we implement fast travel and it's going to be easier to get around to the other maps. Maybe you'll see them expand that. But for right now, in today's update, this is just market search for the home valley you currently are standing in. It doesn't matter which province you're from or home valley you're from. It's wherever you're standing, that home valley search. So I think I beat that enough. So let's get into the sorting and filtering. So if we click this button here, you're going to see several options come up. Price, quantity, date, lifetime, durability, and distance. I kind of like the ones close to me, so I'm going to pick distance in this case. And I'm going to uncheck everything else and hit apply. And now you're going to see literally everything, okay? So if you want to see everything, you don't have to check everything. I mean, I guess you could check everything. This probably will return the same stuff. Yep. So, but just keep that in mind. That's a little quick way of searching all, is you don't have to check all of them. Just check nothing because you're not filtering anything. So there you go. And we'll go back. And so these are the items closest to me. Dracus is me. Shar is one of my clan mates. And so we're just going to see what's in the immediate area. If you want to see literally everything, then maybe go by lifetime. Hit apply. And then you can see none of these items are from my clan, really. So lifetime is probably your best bet if you want to see everything in Arm and Hack. So keep that in mind, guys. That is how you do the sorting and filtering. Now, the next thing is, well, a lot of complaints we've had since markets were introduced have been, as soon as I put something up for sale, if I want to change the price or anything, I got to take it down and put it back up. And that's going to cost gold because every time you put an item up for sale, there's a gold cost associated with it. Now you can just click on something. See, Shara put this up, so I'm not able to edit that. But if I go to something I specifically put up, I can hit this edit button. See how it's enabled for my items, but for Shar's items, it's not enabled. So you're only going to be able to edit things that you personally put up. You need to remember to, as soon as you set your price, just press the enter key and that will have it take effect. So that's how you do editing. There's also probably the major pain point. Let me go grab my construction hammer. The biggest pain point currently is there's a new variant for the market. So currently you got this red and white variant that was first introduced, but what if you want the new variant? You're gonna go equip your hammer, go to crafting, and you're gonna see this new variant here. This one's called the Goods Emporium. The original one's just called Market Stall. Looks like ingredient wise they're exactly the same, it's just a different variant, and you can see how it looks a little different. So that's the major pain point, because a lot of these people want to change all their existings over to the new variant, but they can't. So it's going to force them to put up a new variant stall and then delist everything and then relist it on the new variant, which is going to cost quite a bit of amount of gold depending on how much you have on each current stall. So there's really no way around that right now. One of the suggestions was we'll add an ability to just change the skin or the variant on an existing stall without changing anything. So right now, though, this is what we got. So if you don't want to spend a ton of gold changing everything out to the new variant, then just add a new one and then slowly add new items to it. That's pretty much the best way you're going to get around it. Leave your existing stuff alone. Still no buy orders, still no transaction logs, but this is a good start. It's definitely needed to have some customizations, and now we finally got them. So that's it for the new market update. And that's market updates, guys. So we really have come a long way when it comes to markets, but you know, it's really not like we just mentioned. Buy orders still need to happen. Transaction logs still need to happen. A lot more things still need to happen. Maybe expand the market search beyond the home valley and into the other valleys on the map. Probably not going to see a server-wide market search anytime soon, because the way that you hit show location on any given item that returns in the search, it has to be able to bring up a little mini map to show you your location and how to get to that market stall. And when you can only show one map at a time, that's probably why you won't see a server-wide search at this point in time. Obviously, it can always come in the future, but we'll just have to see. All right, now we're going to go talk about something that has been mentioned for several months, and that is the compass. The compass finally made it into the game. Let's talk about this. Take a look. All right, guys, one of my favorite features of this update is the compass. You can see the compass at the top. It is filled up with all of these icons on my map, so we're going to test it out farming this cotton. Previously, before the compass was introduced, I would go to a cotton spot, pick it, and unless I could visually see it, because cotton's pretty hard to see, unless I could visually see it, I always have to keep referring to my map constantly to find out where all the cotton was and get it picked. So that is what the compass is going to be improving upon. So yeah, looks like we got some cotton here, so that's on my map. But we no longer want to use the map because you can see the cotton is here, so we can go ahead and pick this. Now, another tidbit of information is, let's go down here. We're going to keep following these cotton plants. Well, I just have them marked as plants on my map. They're going to appear. Oh, that's Meadow Sweet. Meadow Sweet looks very close to cotton. So, but you also have to keep in mind, guys, that if there was cotton near this tree, if I don't have one right now, but if I did have a chopping axe, well, you need to press E to interact with the cotton to pick it up. But if you press E next to a tree, it's going to attempt to switch to the chopping axe and start cutting down the tree. So keep that in mind as well, that whenever you're out foraging, you could run into that problem if you're near a mining node or a wood node, that it might accidentally switch to that and start chopping or mining iron for you if you have the appropriate tool in your inventory. So keep that in mind as we start exploring the compass. But if you're one of those guys out there that do not want to use the compass at all, you press escape, you go to settings, you go to the general tab on the left, it's the third one down, and there's an option called show compass. You can turn that puppy off, hit confirm, and then when you hit escape one more time to return back to the game, you can notice the compass is just like it was before the update. It is not there. So I personally love the compass. I'm going to keep it turned on. And the reason why I love to have it turned on, guys, is because, like I said, you don't have to go and keep opening this map. So we're going to show you how to forge items with just using the compass. And then there's really only one thing that can be improved upon when you're doing it this way. And I'm kind of spoiled from New World for this. So the compass in New World worked differently than the way they implemented it here in PAX DEI. Because yes, you could mark things on the map in New World, but one improvement I would like to see on the PAX DEI compass is I have look how many plants I have marked. Well, the compass doesn't remove a waypoint just because you picked it. So I suggest the next iteration of compass needs to have some type of dynamic marking or dynamic waypoint. So when I personally do pick it myself, then it gets removed, because the only problem I see with the compass right now is it's hard to tell what you've already gathered versus what you haven't gathered. So you can be following the waypoints that you've marked for cotton, but whether somebody else picked it or whether you picked it, there's going to be no way of knowing if it's actually there. So just keep that in mind. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the compass, a welcome addition to this update. And so the compass, you know, again, brings a new level of navigation to the game. I welcome it. It's been needed for a good while now. So here it is. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how people think of it. By the way, at any point in today's video, if you have comments on any of these individual features that we're covering, please make sure to comment in the video, because I love discussing this game with you guys. So let's work together and make this a better PAX DEI. The next feature we're going to be talking about is building. I know a lot of you guys are tired of the building updates. Seems like the last 2 or 3 updates have had some kind of building component. And PAX DEI has really put a lot of effort in their development into crafting and to building. So I get it. You combat people out there, you PvP people out there, you socialites out there. You want more features in your areas to help balance out the game. I get it. But for now, this is what we have in regards to building. Hey everybody, let's talk about the building changes that they've made to PAX DEI in this update. So the first thing we're going to talk about is shutters. Now there's a few bugs that you need to be concerned about as you get into this. Don't drive yourself crazy. That's why I'm here, guys, to get the frustration out of your mind, because there's one little annoying bug as of right now. This is March the 13th. So let's go over it. So one is called a left-sided square shutter. The next one is called a right-sided chevron shutter. And the third one is called a left-sided chevron shutter. So all of 3 of these shutters are different. One is a square. The other 2 are the same shutter, just a left and a right version. So in the patch notes, it says that shutters now use a single base recipe for the left and right variants. So this is confusion point number 1. If you go to craft a chevron shutter, right? What they should have done, if they're really going to use a single base recipe, they should have changed the name, because this can be misleading. It says chevron shutter, left-sided shutter. And I myself had this problem. I searched for chevron and I'm like, where is the right-sided shutter? I don't understand. Why do I only have the recipe for left-sided? So what you pretty much need to do is ignore the fact when you're crafting, they're all gonna say left-sided. So if we go and search by just shutter, look at all these recipes we have. Left-sided, left-sided. There technically are no recipes specific to left-sided and right-sided. So when they said in the patch notes single base recipe, they mean there's one recipe for both left and right of the chevron shutter. There's one recipe for both left and right of the square shutter, even though the description says this is just for the left-sided shutter. Now I'm going to illustrate that even further. So we went ahead and crafted a square shutter left-sided. Okay, so let's equip our construction hammer. Let's go out here and let's look at the square shutter. So you can see right here, even though we only crafted technically what the description shows as left-sided, we do have the ability to pick, do I want to place a left-sided shutter or a right-sided? So I picked right-sided, and bam. It allows me to put a right-sided. Now, it doesn't give you two of them. Notice I placed that, and in the top right, it shows, oh, you're out of shutters, because you make one for the left or the right. If you want to make a left and a right, you would need to make two of the same item. So that's frustrating point number one that may be misleading, is the description identifies it as a left shutter, but it can be used for both. Next point of confusion is, in this box prior to the update, I had shutters ready to go. But in these already crafted shutters, you can see there's a left side and a right side variety. But the problem is, they don't appear when I go like this. Now, the reason why I can place a shutter right now for Chevron is because I have another one I just crafted after the update called left-sided Chevron shutter. So I have two of those. So let's place those. And we'll pick right side. And we'll pick left side. Okay, so the left and right are up, says I have no more. But look at this, I do have more. I have 5 more right-sided shutters. Why does it not let me place these? I'm guessing there's a bug. See, it says I have 0, even though I have 5. So I'm guessing this is a bug in the system for for shutters that you crafted prior to the update. You're gonna have this problem. Now, is this problem specific to this one? Or is it all pre-crafted shutters? This is a narrow chevron shutter. Let's see if it says if I can build it or not. Narrow chevron. See, that one is all right. It lets me put it up here. So we'll put this one up. And let's grab another. Maybe let's grab one that says right-sided. That says, maybe that's the difference. So this one says right-sided. Is there a left-sided? No, all these are right-sided. So was that the difference on pre-existing? Let's go take a look. See, that's the difference. So if you have shutters that are prior to the update and they say right-sided shutter, you're not going to be able to put them up. The game, for some reason, is not recognizing them as existing. All right, so let's tear these down real quick. And it doesn't matter if you put them up and then tear them down. If you have them in your inventory and they were pre-crafted prior to update, you're not going to be able to put them in. Alright, so that is shutters. Let's walk back here and let's talk about something else they added to this update, and that is going to be your stone wall foundations. Okay, stone wall foundations can be found under construction, and they're at the top of the list. You can see some new additions here. Wide cylindrical foundation, low stone wall foundation, narrow cylindrical foundation. There's a lot more opportunities for customization when it comes to stone foundations now. So we're gonna build these low stone foundations, and you can make a nice little wall. Previously, I believe the only option was just the stone wall foundation right here. So if you wanted to make a low version of that prior to the update, you'd have to use a regular size one and then just hold Alt and mouse wheel to shrink it down to a low one, and you could achieve the same effect. But now you actually have low stone walls. So I really love that addition. So play around with it, guys. I'm sure you guys will have some creative juices out here, and this cylindrical one is going to save a ton of resources as well, because a lot of people were using multiple foundations to achieve the same effect, and now you can truly have cylindrical ones or circle ones. Here's the narrow version, a little bit smaller. It's not snapping well, but yep, there it is. So put yourself on a pedestal, guys. Get out there and start building these new foundation blocks. And then lastly, of note, if you go equip your hammer, go to furnishings, the brazier is now listed under lighting and decorations under the furnishings tab, which wasn't there before. So keep that in mind. So that is the update for building pieces. Hope you guys have fun. A lot of stuff that we covered in the building update. Hopefully that is the last building update for a while, because we would like to see other features in the game. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. The next one we're going to talk about Grace. This is a really quick announcement. I just wanted to point it out because there are so many audio improvements in this game for this update, but Grace is not one of them. So in the Grace update, the patch note says when you log into the game, you get your 10 daily Grace. There's supposed to be an audio associated with this. Did you hear it? I sure didn't. So maybe tomorrow we'll have an audible for welcome. You had 10 daily Grace. Maybe we'll have an update tomorrow for that. I don't know. But that was a letdown. I was really eager for some reason, really excited to see what that sounded like, and it was a dud. So the next one we're going to be talking about is one of the best features I love about this update. Let's talk about Discord. A returning feature for those of you guys that were in early access is a feature called chat bubbles. So if you are in nearby chat, if you are in clan chat or party chat, you can see these chat bubbles. You will not see them if you're using zone chat. So welcome back, chat bubbles. Now they call them chat bubbles, but they're not actually bubbles. It's just fly text over your person. So you can see that there. It's going to allow you to if you're around other people, it's going to allow them to see the chat above your head as well. So that's always a fun addition, or sorry, fun re-addition, because we've had that before. They took it away and they implemented this side chat system when they first integrated Discord. But the first thing people didn't like was, hey, I want my chat bubbles back. So here it is. We got the new updated Discord integration on the left with chat bubbles. But probably the bigger feature of the Discord integration on this minor update is the addition of the voice chat. You're going to see that with this sound icon here above the clan banner icon. If you click that, it shows the voice chat menu. Do not confuse this. This is a Discord integration, but it is not tied to your private Discord server. You can join the chat here and then go to your private Discord server, and you're not going to be in any room over there. So keep that in mind. This is separate from your private Discord server. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, why would I use this if I already have my private Discord server? Well, it's really catering to most people that play PAX DEI. Because you can see the limitations here in game. Clan voice chat is a maximum of 32 people, and party voice chat is a maximum of 6. I understand the party voice chat being 6 because the party size in general can only be 6, but they had to probably limit clan chat to 32 for server performance reasons, would be my guess. So if you have a real beefy clan that always has more than 32 people in voice chat, you might want to stick to your private server for that. Also, if you're used to having raid chat or dungeon chat, I recommend using party chat for that, because you don't want to be doing a dungeon run in your clan voice chat, because then you're going to be hearing non-chatter. So use your raid chat for your party chat. But before you get in here and click join, what you first need to do is you either need to click this hamburger icon, or you can press the Z icon. That's the default hotkey for it. And you want to come in here and set up your voice chat settings. Your input device should be, in my case, I'm using the Wavelink and Elgato microphone, so that's why you see me picking Wavelink stream. But in your case, it probably is going to be your microphone. Your output device is going to be where you want to hear it. In my case, it's the headphones on my head, which go through my Elgato Wave system. But for most people, it might be default headphones or some other headphones that you use that are in this list. So make sure you set that appropriately. And it's a personal preference on what input mode you want to use. Voice activity means people will be able to hear you all the time when you talk, even when you're not talking. If you have background noise, they're going to hear all that. But if you want to enable push to talk, then that's going to allow you to enable the right control key. And so we'll go ahead and set that and confirm it. And so now I have it set to right control. I also want to note, if you go to settings, if you go to controls, you find that right control that we just set, push to talk, and you can bind it to whatever key you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be on right control. It's basically right control is the default, and then if you want to override that with your own key binding, go for it. So let's get back to our voice chat. So now we're going to join clan voice, and some of the options in here is if you don't want to use push to talk and you want to leave it on voice activity where your voice is always broadcasting, maybe another option would be to mute yourself. So, it's kind of cumbersome. Voice activity is good for dungeons because you don't want to have to keep clicking a button just to talk when you're doing a dungeon, especially in the middle of a big fight. That's probably the best case scenario I can suggest for using voice activity. Just be mindful that if you do use voice activity, try to have like noise canceling headphones or just not a lot going on in your background, because that could get annoying to your clanmates if they're constantly getting background voice from your microphone. You don't want the background noise bleeding out your actual voice, so be mindful of that. And so the second option here is called deafen self. What that is going to mean is if you hear a lot of people just talking about crazy stuff in chat that you just don't want to hear, you can hit deafen yourself and you will no longer hear them or be able to talk. So that's what these icons represent. The first one's microphone says, hey, you're muted. And also the incoming sound to your listening device is also muted. So that's what those two options do there. That is the Discord voice settings, guys. I really enjoy them being integrated in the game because I was constantly alt-tabbing when I wanted to change channels in the private server. And now it's all seamlessly integrated into the game. All right, that's Discord in-game audio. And another thing we just need to point out there is a lot of people recently in PAX Discord chat, the official Discord server, were complaining, well, why didn't they just make proximity chat? Why did they have to go to another Discord integration? Well, I've thought about this, and the best reason for this I can think of is if you've played Rust or any other game that has proximity chat. PAX Day is a social. They like to promote a peaceful, healthy environment where Rust is pretty much about toxicity. So I'm pretty sure Mainframe wanted to keep their chat as clean as possible. And if you have proximity chat, you're just going to have people running around, ruin other people's experiences with their toxic chat in proximity. So that's, like I said, that's my opinion. I'm just speculating. We're not sure what mainframe thinks about that, but that's the best solution I have for you here today. So moving on, we're going to talk about a feature that we kind of showed you earlier when we were covering the compass details on when if you got too close during foraging to a tree or a mining node, it could automatically activate the tools. What tools are we talking about? We're talking about mining pickaxe and the chopping axe. Let's take a look. So if you are using your chopping axe on a mining node, it doesn't work. But if you press the E key to interact, it will automatically switch to your pickaxe in order to do that. Now, if we go back to the chopping axe or to the sword, this might be useful if there are boar nearby. So it automatically weapon switched once we press the E button. And then once we are finished with the node, it switched right back to the sword. So we're ready for battle in case there is a boar nearby. So that's a good handful use for it. But if you go and manually select the pickaxe, this is basically going to use the mode it did before the update. So we're not pressing E to interact anymore, even though you still have that option. We're just manually equipping the pickaxe and then left clicking. Now conversely, on the chopping axe side, if I equip the pickaxe, when I go press E and interact with the tree, it will automatically switch to the chopping axe so we can continue chopping. Now, chopping a tree has two stages, chopping it down and then, dismantling the trunk on the ground. So we're just showing you here that if you equip something else and press E, it will automatically switch and start chopping away. Just like with the pickaxe, if you start with a weapon, it will still switch to the chopping axe and then switch back to the weapon. So we're just seeing both of those examples here with the pickaxe and also the chopping axe. See how it just switches between them two effortlessly? Really good. I kind of see myself using both of these modes, the old way and the new way. It seems like it's going to be just as easy to manually equip and then left click versus auto switch and press E. But again, this is preference. This is your option. Now, unlike the compass where you can go into settings and turn this off, I don't believe there is a setting that deactivates the new mode because they give you both options available on the fly. So that's something to keep in mind as we do these auto selection tools and get ready to chop and farm either our ore or the wood that we might need. So, that was the auto tool. Now we get to some interesting content. So we've talked about some bugs with building and other areas, but these are my top problems with this update. And before we can get to the good stuff, we got to talk about the bad. All right, now let's go over some top problems that I have seen in this update so far. So one of the big complaints right now is doors. The interact white circle has been moved to the corner of the door. It doesn't seem to be a problem in my case. I can click on any part of the door and it still opens. But I've been monitoring PAX chat, and a lot of people have had to remove their doors because based on the way they built and designed their structure, it's not allowing them to easily open. Now, I can say on this particular door, the interact option is at the bottom left. And so, it seems to be okay for opening it. But if I go on the inside, it's still... Hey guys, since the making of this video, there has been an update to this bug. Doors have been fixed. This interact circle used to be down here in the bottom left, but now they have put it back to where it was as of Friday morning's update. So now doors should be working correctly now for everybody. So if you removed a door, you can go ahead and replace it back because doors should be behaving as they were before. Now, back to the video. The doors. The next big problem is there's some bug with the X key. The X key is what you typically use to drop things out of your inventory. You can see I can drop that, I can drop that. It's all fine and dropping, right? But where the bug gets introduced is on the hotbar. If you have anything on your hotbar, if you attempt to drop it, I'm pressing X now, notice it does not drop it. Pressing X now does not drop anything on my hotbar. And once you attempt that, then if you move back into your regular inventory, nothing can be dropped. So that is definitely a problem. Once again, great news in reference to the X hotkey that drops items out of your inventory. We previously talked about in a video where you can press X to drop items in your inventory. And then the problem was when the update first came out was the fact that if you tried to press X on your hotbar, it would not drop the items and also prevent you from dropping things from your main inventory once you interacted with that hotbar. But you guys can see now that the X on the hotbar has also been fixed. We return you now back to the video. Next, we're going to talk about crossing a zone boundary. So I'm in a home valley getting ready to go into the wildlands. Now, this is something that they've talked about recently with horses, is that when you transition across the zone, there's considerable lag, and we can't have that on horses. They've already said that horses, the rigs and everything are pretty much done. They need to do a little bit of polishing, but for the most part, the horses themselves and the ability to ride a horse is already done. What's not done is the server performance when you cross a zone boundary. Right now we're doing it on foot. So the problem is going to be, even worse if we're trying to cross one of these boundaries on a horse. So once they get this ironed out, I feel like we possibly might be able to get horses for the spring update. And the reason why I say that is because in today's update, they have removed the lag almost entirely, but unfortunately, they've introduced another problem. So we're going to hold shift here to activate our sprint, and we're going to run across this border, and you guys will be able to see the reduction of lag that they have fixed. But what is the problem? The problem that I've noticed is, even though there was no lag, see, I've already crossed into the zone. Even though there's no lag, the mobs are also not spawning. And the reason for that is because you're technically not loaded in, and we're just going to keep running, and you're going to see what happens in just a few moments. Like, I should be able to see boar. I should be able to see lots of things. You can see the compass is working with the icons that I have on my map. But definitely, even across the way, there's no inquisitors at the tower. There's no boar on this road, which I know there are. But again, we're going to keep on running and running. We're trying to escape gravity here, or escape the server, if you will. But there is just nothing loading anywhere. And that's the problem they are trying to get around, because you can see there was no lag coming into the zone, but at the same time, I know for sure there are 2 boar over here, and we're not going to find them, because technically even though it physically shows us on our client side in this zone, we're technically not here at all. So it's kind of like when you're in cinematic mode and you fly into another area and you can't see anything because technically you're not there. So as long as you hold this shift button and never stop running, then this is going to happen. Like, you could just run like this forever. You're never going to see anything in game. And when I stop, it rubber bands me back to where I was before I even entered the zone. Or actually right at the zone. Look at that. So that's a problem they need to fix. If I would have let go of shift a long time ago, we wouldn't have had to run that far and it would have rubber banded me back here. But now that it's done that, I can continue into the zone a second time. And now we're going to see stuff spawning. So, kudos to the devs for eliminating the lag. But unfortunately, they have introduced another problem. Once they fix this, though, I think horses will be in our future. And that's why I'm optimistic that they could make it by spring update, which is this. Today's update is a minor update. Market verse 3. The spring update is going to be called something else. And is going to be verse 1, which is going to be the next major update to PAX Day. And I don't know, maybe it's wishful thinking, but horse hype is getting real. Like, ever since early access came out, we've always had lag when crossing into the zone. Now there's no lag, but as we just saw, another problem's been introduced. Hopefully that's a easier problem to fix, but they've already said that the horse rigs are ready. Just a little more polish on the horses, and they're ready to go. Got to get them working in the environment. Once they solve that last problem, we will be ready for mounts in the game, guys. I can't wait. Hopefully it's coming in the spring update, but we'll have to see. So we've seen a lot of problems, you know, all these discussion points and features we've had so far. Each good thing they introduced seemed to have a bad thing with it. But now it's time to pray and enjoy the praise that was accompanied with this update. Now let's talk about what things we enjoy about this update. A lot of things we've already talked about. So top praises are Discord voice, market search, compass, less lag on the zone borders, but there's a couple gems we haven't talked about yet. So I'm not going to be able to show you all of the examples of each, but I encourage you to do it. So the first noticeable improvement is with weapons. So if I equip a weapon, the equipping sound is still the same, but listen to it when I actually swipe it. It's more of a prominent swipe. Same with the special attack. It's more swooshy now. So bring on the swoosh. You can even see the animation of the swoosh is more defined as well. And I've also noticed this with the crafters. I haven't checked all the crafters, but I will come up here to my tailoring section and we'll give you a good idea of what the spinning wheel sounds like. Definitely sounds different than what it used to. So let me grab some linen string and listen to this. Well, actually, so I got cotton cord. All right, listen. Right there, that noise there is different. So the initial sound of activating is the same, and then it goes into the new sound. Pay attention to that. So sound one is you actually positioning the string where it needs to go, and then the second sound is you actually crafting the cotton cord. So I thought that was a nice little subtle improvement. So check out all the crafters and weapons. And in addition to that, healing spells. They didn't mention this at all. Not only do they offer better animations, but the casting times have been greatly reduced. Here's Divine Remedy 2. Bam, look at that. What was that? A second? It used to take 4 to 5 seconds, and now it's really fast. See that little animation, those little bubbles that come out? Let me get in the dark so you can see it a little bit better. Huh. Didn't seem to work on the stairs at all, but definitely some animations out there. Let's check out Consecrated Ground. How has that changed? Definitely some audio improvements. Not sure about the cast time. Cast time might be a little longer, but also I didn't get a chance to see this, but sometimes Consecrated Ground in caves would glitch and you would put it down and you wouldn't see the light source of it even though it was activated. So check that one out for me. Put it in the comments if you don't mind. But that is the audio improvements. And then the last couple things I want to show you. You can sit in chairs now, guys. You come over here and press the interact button and bam, you can now sit in chairs. You can sit on benches. Anything that has the ability to sit, you can now sit in. Now, a couple people I've heard complaining, well, why can't multiple people sit on a bench? A bench is long enough. Well, I'm guessing the reason for that is beds. They don't want any crazy hardcore RPing going on in the bedroom, so they probably didn't allow multiple people on benches for the same reason they don't allow 2 people in the same bed. Hey guys, we're not ready for that yet. I don't think anyway. So sitting in chairs. And in addition to that, they've added 7 new emotes to the game. You hold the B button and the general emotes, you can see 3 new ones. Wave is the old one, lie down is old, please is newer but old for this update. No is old, sit is old, but greeting is new. Greeting only does the animation once. Dancing only does the animation once. And you can see it did clip through that fence post there. But celebrate is an unending celebration. The party lasts all night long when you celebrate. So that's a good one to use. You'll just keep pumping your double fist to eternity, similar to how you can pray forever. I really like that one. And if you thought that was all the emotes, no. If you activate the sit one, there are additional emotes when you are sitting down. So while you're sitting, activate the same menu, and here's 4 new ones for you. We have arms folded, which you will stay in that position until you either stand up or select something else. No. Not gonna do it. Not gonna sleep in the bed. Sorry, not gonna happen. Not tonight. Then, oh, maybe I do want to get drunk. Maybe I do. It's Friday, just about. And then when you're just tired and you just want to relax and enjoy the scenery, you can fall asleep now on PAX Day, guys. Very cool emotes, but they do have to fix some things. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn this chair around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There is one bug with the sitting that I have noticed, and I'll show that. I haven't tried all the chairs to see if it happens in all of them. I would imagine it would. So let's put this chair out here, and you'll be able to clearly see the bug I'm talking about. Your clothing is like, it's like you're falling constantly and your clothes are doing, you know, they're frozen in time. Or maybe they're hand warmers now. I don't know. What's going on underneath your clothes is not meant to be everybody's business, but you can clearly see what's going on. So keep that in mind, guys, that they need to adjust the clothing so it falls and drapes over your knee, or just drapes down. It shouldn't just be hovering like that. Or maybe it's hovering on the post of that chair. I don't know, maybe just resting. No, this one isn't. It's bleeding right through that post. So that looks a little weird at this angle, but if you're at this angle, you probably don't notice it. So that's probably the bugs with that. So that is the top praises that we've had for this update, guys. Enjoy them. Let me know what you think. Now, another one that we didn't have time to cover here today is something that we really don't understand yet. They upgraded the Unreal Engine to 5.4. So what I encourage you guys to do is when you're in PAX Day, go watch a sunset, go watch a sunrise. I hear that the transition of colors during the sunrise and sunset is a lot smoother now and more realistic looking. So take a look at that. And if there's anything else that you notice has visually improved, it's probably Unreal Engine 5.4. So put those things in the comments of this video as well, because I really want to educate our community on what Unreal Engine 5.4 is bringing to the table to help keep PAX Day the sharpest, visually appealing MMO that's currently on the market. So we're going to go into our final thoughts and wrap up here today. Sorry for the length of this video, but there's just so much excitement in this update that I wanted to cover, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was well informed of the bugs as well. So this update, even though it was a minor update, was still very valuable to me. With the addition of another EU server, it means the entire PAX population is on the rise. I can expect this to continue as we get deeper into 2025. Most feedback in the official PAX Day Discord and feedback channels are still pretty negative. Do not be misled by this. It will take our small community and the rest of the Positive Vibe Squad out there to bring people back to this game. If you are personally enjoying this game, do not let the negativity dissuade you from enjoying this game. Positivity can catch like wildfire, and negativity can help you drown if you let it. So yes, this game is far from being ready for full release, but 2025 so far has been a banger of monthly updates. Did you hear me? I said monthly. Huge improvements, and I look forward to the spring update, which hopefully will get some horses. So much horse hype right now. That alone would bring a ton of players back to the game. So thanks for watching the Shack Show here today. See you next time, and have a great weekend.